Hello, 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 and welcome to the No Faces Comic Chat. I'm your host Bub, and today we have a very, very, very special guest for you today, making his first appearance on the No Faces Comic Chat, Metarog.
Yeah, first appearance since last week. Hi. Well, and but anytime we can go be in the No Faces chat, that's a seminal event as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely. What kind of event?
A seminal event,
Seminal event.
a
That's what
special
we.
time. It is a special time. That's my point.
Oh yeah. All right, well, we're glad to have you as always. We have a few more people I think are coming, but if they don't come, that's fine. We'll keep rolling on without them, as our good buddy, what's his
Fred
name?
Hall, direct edition.
Yes, Fred Hall. To Big Fred says. Little Fred doesn't ever say that, but Big Fred does. All right, we got a few people in the chat. Do you want to go ahead and start yakking them out there?
I will. Yeah, absolutely. Coming in early, as he is wont to do. Our buddy James of Las Cruces, 1971. Of course, Unruly Simeon with the peace sign. We got Brett Bottomley in here as well. How you doing, Brett? Great to see you here. And great supporter of our chat and this whole community. Ben Compton is here as well. And coming in here just in a little bit is Captain Comics, my rival and buddy from Cover Slingers. I hope you come back, Captain, because we miss you.
Absolutely. And they won't invite me back on that show, will they, Roger?
Sure. Eventually they will, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think it's one of those soft bands. What do you think?
Nah, you'll be back. Hey, Super Russ, how you doing, my brother?
What's going on, Russ? All right. So today, I'm sure, Roger, I'm sure you remember our team name for today. I'm convinced of it.
Oh, something new crew, something.
Yes, thank you, because I couldn't remember. That's actually
new to you crew.
Yeah, there you go. New to you comic crew. That's it.
Oh, okay. I was close.
Yeah, you're all over that one. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I missed a few words in there, but I'll take partial credit.
Oh, yeah, and I'll give it. You're in good shape. Absolutely. The old new to you comic crew is here, and oh, look at that. Vincenzo C is eyeballing that Rifleman cover. So, so what we got going on today is we're going to be discussing comic characters that have their origins in other forms of media. And it doesn't necessarily have to be whether it's print or TV or movies or pulps or magazines or newspapers or whatever, but comic characters that did not originate in comics but have a first appearance elsewhere. So that makes sense to you, Roger?
Yep. Clear as mud. Yep, absolutely.
All right. Well, to further muddy the water, look what rolls downstairs, tables and chairs, runs over your neighbor's dog. It fits in your back. It's great for a snack. It's log. It's the Rifleman's log. There you go.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Come in and get your log. Everyone loves a log. All right. So we got let's see. So I, of course, will take the lead here, as I often have to do, to explain myself. So here's what's going on. Alf is a great example. Alf did not originate in comics. He originated on the TV show. What was the name of his show?
Alf?
Yeah, Alf. What was the name of his show?
Alien Lifeform?
That's what he was, but what was the name of his show?
I don't know.
All right. Alf has first appeared in Alf.
I think it was just Alf. I hope it was. It wasn't that long ago, was it?
I don't know. No, I don't think so. I think they're available to stream on your favorite streaming service, or maybe your third favorite streaming service. Good luck with that. So there's a good example. And then premiered in comics. I think this is his first appearance in comics. Might not be. I know that in that X-Men issue that Liefeld did, wasn't it? Where they have like all the different creatures from around the universe.
Yeah.
I would assume that I don't know. It might not predate this. It probably does.
What is that? Like 88 or so? This one here?
Yeah, and this one.
Yeah, I think that was like early 90s. What you're talking about, Liefeld one, I think.
Yeah, so I think this would predate that. Used to love Alf. The mom was a biscuit. Yeah, and the dad was no competition. Phew. That guy was rough.
I guess that means attractive.
Depends, Roger. Do you like biscuits?
Not too much. No.
Really? Not a biscuit guy. What do you enjoy? Crumpets?
I like cornbread.
Cornbread? Well, how about that? The mom was a nice cornbread muffin.
Okay, well, I guess that means she was attractive. Okay.
All right. Yeah, I like the mom in that. Okay. When I was younger, though, it was just funny because I probably didn't care anything about the mom when I was watching that show as a kid, but I remember the older sister being cute. And when I was watching that, she would have been older than me. So that still works.
Honestly, I do not remember. I remember the dad because he was such a goofy guy with the glasses. I do not remember the ladies in that show.
Yeah, that guy was quite an actor. He was real, of course he was a scientist, right? So yeah, it all worked out. Good stuff. From Heroes to Icon is here as well. Hello. So so Alf, and then of course, them their old riflemen, right? The Magic Log cover. I think that this would be a definite addition. That's a lot of the Dells are going to fall into this category. Stuff that was, comic creations after appearances in television and such. So the Rifleman, one of my favorite, well, not one of my favorite, my absolute favorite Western television show ever is the Rifleman. Just absolutely love it. I don't have a full run of the Rifleman, but I have about half of it. So, and the covers get real repetitive, and they're all photo covers. You can imagine how that gets.
Yeah. That's the thing with the Dells, is that they have a lot of photo covers. Like the Westerns, man, those are tough to take because it's he's with his little chaps, he's with the leathers, he's on the horse, he's by the horse,
very plain. And it looks like they use the same image multiple times in the same book and just like color the sky a different color.
right.
Change the writing on it. Vincenzo C is asking what I have these in. These are Ultra Pro one touch magnetic cases. And this is what I use on my walls. I use a lot. So I use three main things on my walls. I use slab mounts for my slabs. I use, or comic mounts, I guess they're called. And I use comic mounts also for any kind of original art that I have on my walls. I use Gator Guard cases for the original art. And then I use slab mounts for those, or comic mounts. And then I use these Ultra Pro magnetic one touch cases for all just raw books. And they pop open with one touch. Bing! And then you put your little book in there, and it's magnetic, and it shuts, and it's got the little alligator thing on the back, so you can hang it on the wall. So that's what I use.
Those are very convenient. Absolutely.
Yes, they work really well. I use them. Like I said, I've got a bunch of them up on the wall, and so and they're great for when I want to change out the room. Then I can kind of hot swap what I call hot swap comics in there.
Yeah,
and they will fit some Dell and Golden Age, but they're mostly Silver Age and smaller. And if you want a bag and board, so if you're going to put Golden Age or a Dell in there, you can't put a bag and board. That's the catch. But they seal pretty tight, so I usually feel pretty good about them.
Do they have like a maybe thicker size?
I don't think they have any other size. It's one size, and good luck, because that's another issue. You can't fit an annual in there or a giant size. None of that will fit in there.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Like, let's say you want to put like a giant size X-Men.
Yeah, can't do it.
That might be a good deal to have.
Usually square bounds don't fit.
Okay.
All right. What do we got here? We got Rawhide. Must have been Unruly, one of his favorites. Either that or he's asking if there's a doctor in the house. And we've got Patrick Wall, I think that guy owes me $20. I'm not sure. Actually, I think Brett Bottomley owes me $20 too. These guys, I get on it, you know. There you go. Ultra Pro Imperious Flex is here as well. Can't wait for his movie to come out. All good stuff. All right. Oh, I guess people are sending me private messages in the chat that how could I show Alf and not show this Alf? So there's Alf 48 defiling a seal. I mean, breaking the seal, or holding back the safety seal. And we're not quite sure what's going on here, but it's definitely going on here. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how that one got out, honestly. That's
well, I don't think it is yet. Looks like it's fully he's currently breaking the safety seal. Yeah.
Well, I mean, just the you know the fact that it was distributed by Marvel, I mean, they must have known that this was going to get to that kind of double entendre legendary status. I mean, they must have. I mean,
I would think so by issue 48 of Alf, there's nobody checking to make sure anyone's in the lines on this. Like,
it's just like, don't even put it on my desk. Just put it right to the printers.
Yeah, just send it out. We don't care.
Oh man, that's a good one.
Ranger Sly's in the house. What's going on? I remember back before I knew it was Ranger Sly, I used to call him Rangersley.
Yep, me too.
I didn't know. So now, you know, we corrected that many moons ago, and now we can all be friends again. So thanks again, Sly. All right, Roger, you got any books to show or any stories to tell?
Yeah, all right. I got a couple. I mean, I kind of went in a different direction, but I mean, I think the Dells was a good way to start there. This is kind of cheating, right? Because, you know, you said it appeared when you said appeared, right? So
yes,
let me just say that this is not in any way, shape, or form am I saying this is a first appearance like official thing, you know?
No. Yeah, we get you.
But the first image, if you want to, you know, put it like that, of the Punisher was in this comic reader here.
Ooh, well done, sir.
That's obviously it's the cover of 129. And that's the first, you know, obviously back then they didn't have previews and things like that.
That's sneaky, Roger.
Very sneaky.
Not even go with an original art piece of him, but to go with the printing of the cover prior.
Right.
Very sneaky indeed.
Right. Now it sort of begs the question how, you know, what kind of, you know, how did they get this image from Marvel? Because this is an independent publisher, a comic reader. So they must have had some kind of agreement where they would send them pics of, you know, previews of the covers and things like that. You know?
Did you do it? Did you send it?
No, I didn't. I did not. But back then I was, you know,
I gotta tell you, if I'm Cap on that back cover, I'd hold the shield over my head.
Right. Hey, that's a Kirby Batman. You don't see that very often there.
I don't think I want to see it again.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
That's terrible. Look at his leg.
Yeah, it's a little bit odd, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a little bit odd. Yeah. I don't know if Kirby did this for the comic reader or if this is something that they just had him sketch up real quick or whatever and they colored it in. I don't think that it doesn't look like a classic Kirby face here, so maybe somebody modified it a bit.
That's rough.
Anyway, so that's my first one. Yeah, Unruly Simeon says that I just started an avalanche. I severely doubt anybody's going to take anything I say here seriously. So,
Hey, Warlord, what's going on?
Hey,
and Tatman, and Jamie showed up. Look at all these fine fellas.
Yeah, hey, Tat.
Thank you all.
Yeah, cool stuff. So, you know, here, Terry and the Pirates, we were having this discussion in the chat with Lady Fantastic, right? Whether a comic strip is really different in the way that a comic book is a collection of strips, essentially. But I think that we can sort of say, well, a strip is sort of its own little story, you know, or chapter of a story, and a comic book sometimes is more of like a novel. So Terry and the Pirates, created by Milton Caniff, originally was a comic strip that started in 1934 in the Chicago News, New York Syndicate. So it was in those two cities. And of course, it lasted for 40 years. The first 20 or so under Kniff, and then it was taken over by, I think, Wagner. So that's, again, what we're talking about. It's a character that he did have his own comics. This is a reprint of strips, but he did have his own comic stories later on, outside of the strips. But most of the tales that you see from Terry and the Pirates are reprints from those strips.
Right.
Yeah. So that would be,
I think that counts.
Yeah, I would think so, because again, it did morph into a comic book at some point.
Here's the deal. Any kid with money to burn wasn't buying a newspaper to get 5 strips on Sunday.
Right.
Yeah. Like that wasn't a thing.
True enough.
It wasn't a thing. It was a throw in with the regular news.
True enough. Okay, then here's one more Flash Gordon here. Of course, he's had so many different iterations over the years and so many different publishers. But obviously, he first appeared in a Alex Raymond strip from, I want to say, 1929. Way back when.
In a newspaper strip?
Yeah, I do believe so. Yeah. So that was, and then of course he graduated to serials in the 30s. Those cheesy serials. Well, cheesy from our perspective. Now, at that time they were awesome.
Yeah, that's high adventure.
Right, right, exactly. But again, that's a character which is very well known, has really stood the test of time when you consider from 29, almost now 100 years, and we're still talking about him. That's some longevity there.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
So yeah, and honestly, when you're talking about, the it's sort of like a space fantasy, his adventures on Mongo, and with the Ming and the totalitarianism and the emperor and all the different creatures and all the different species that were there, etc. It was a really exciting kind of feature, that Flash Gordon. And of course, he was a human that got transported up there. But I really enjoyed a lot of his iterations, including the ones by King. And of course, he had a strip for a long time as well. That I'm not sure exactly. I think it lasted into the 40s or 50s. Maybe somebody else will know. I'm not exactly sure.
Very cool.
But again, a character that has morphed into comics now that the strips are not, and there still are some, but I mean, they're not nearly as popular as they were, 40, 50 years ago. So
I used to do, I am collecting the Harvey run of Flash Gordon. I'm trying to finish that run. Mm-hmm. It's a short run.
It is a short run. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I've got a couple of the Kings, but I definitely want to get that little Harvey run. I like it. To me, and ultimately, if I could ever get a Frazetta Famous Funnies Flash Gordon, that's pretty much at the top of my list.
Yeah.
So that's going to be like, those are my collecting goals for when I really have run out of small things. And I'm like, you know what? I haven't bought a comic in 3 months. You know that, you know what I mean?
Withdrawals.
Yeah. Like I have so many books, and I'm not buying little books anymore because I have tons of those. Right. But I haven't bought a comic in 3 months. So I'm going to spend what I would have spent in 3 months on small books on one big book. And then I'll end up with some Frazetta Famous Funnies. That's the goal.
Cool. All right. I'll do one more, Bub, and I'll have you go.
All right.
So Mysterious Traveler is another one of those characters. I mean, it's not a very famous character, but he did have a series. This is his first appearance in comics, but he appeared in the pulps as well. But his first appearance was actually a radio serial, which is, it'll say right here, see, Mutual Broadcasting Network, in 1943, I want to say. Maybe Ranger Sly knows. I know he knows a lot about the Mysterious Traveler. So that is, again, one of those characters that sort of morphed from the radio He was also in pulps and in these digest-sized magazines before this. But this is his first comic appearance in Mysterious Traveler Comics #1 and only.
Wow. That's lovely.
Yeah. It took me a while to find this sucker here. As cheapskate as I am.
Did you find it in the wild?
I did.
Wow.
Yes, I did. Back in the early 90s, I want to say.
That's impressive.
In a convention. I mean, it cost me a cool $10, so I was like sweating it to death, but had to have it, man. Had to have it. It's one shot publisher. I love those kind of things.
Yeah, that's killer.
Yeah.
Digging that. All right, let's see. See what I can do here. It'd be all over the board here. How about character whose first appearance was in a cartoon? I think that counts.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that would definitely count. We've got Harley Quinn there, her first appearance in a cartoon. Now, people will argue as to what her first comic appearance, but that's only for people who don't have one of these. Mm-hmm. So some people will say, "Oh, well, continuity," and no points for that. In my opinion, there's no real continuity. There's just a bunch of stories, and some people grow on them and some don't. So I got nothing on that. And then people talk about, oh, well, I mean, it can still be a key, but it's not a first appearance.
Yeah.
And then you can be like, oh, well, she appeared in a coloring book.
Yep. I have that.
Say, well, if she appeared in a coloring book, then you can say that's the first time she's been printed. You have that one?
Yeah, it's the first image, but there's no story there. It's just her, it's just her outline.
Image. So, yeah. So at that point, it's not even. I mean, yeah, if you want to say that, then there's probably some advertisements out there or, something with her picture on it, or there could be some animation cells. I mean, if you really want to get that specific, then you could say that her animation cell, the first time she was ever drawn, right?
Right, exactly.
And that should be, first time she appeared on screen, that would be a thing. But short of all that, if you're going to go in comics, this would be it. But that aside, definitely a completely animated character, that was brought to life on TV and then now in comics. So good stuff there, I think.
Yeah.
Hey, look, Bill's here at Comic Mag Music. If anyone's wondering what that smell is, that's Bill. He's taking out the trash. So that's all right. We don't blame him.
Nah. It gets real hot over there in Arizona. He's got to take it out frequently.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
The coyotes will come chasing after him too. That's mostly because he hasn't showered this week, but it does happen. All right. Then one, I think you're kind of fond of this one. This would be the Man of Bronze, Doc Savage.
Mm-hmm.
Pulp, novels. I mean, you name it. This guy was big.
Oh yeah.
He was super big before comics.
Oh yeah.
I think there might have been even a comic strip with him in it at some time, but
probably
primarily he was a novel, right? It was novel creation.
Novel and pulps. Well, is what I remember him. Yeah, he had a long run in pulps. Yeah.
So, and this is some great Alex Ross art here.
Nice. Yeah, that's a nice back there. That's a really
kind of a Steranko homage, in my opinion.
Yep, sure does. Yep, looks like that Nick Fury. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe he first appeared in that. I think it was a pulp called Doc Savage magazine or something. #1.
Yeah, we forgot about some radio too. There was a lot of radio before comics too.
Yep. But I think he might have been radio before that. Yeah, you're right. But I do know that was in the 30s when the pulp that he appeared in. I have seen it before. I know somebody who had one back in the 80s, and he was real proud of it too.
Yep. And Pinter was look at this. Yep. Unruly Simeon dropping knowledge for everyone to scoop up. Scoop it in your pail. Take it home with you. Or if you're already home, just keep it close to you.
Right.
All right. So how many did I show? 2, 3. I'll throw another one up here.
Yeah, throw another one. All
right. Here's another one. Here's someone who appeared first in a television show, but prior to that, there was already a long-running history of characters and she simply got brought into those. We have Barbara Gordon as Batgirl, who was first originally Batgirl on the TV series with Adam West and Burt Ward. And then they brought her into the DC universe through comics, and this is her first appearance.
I did not know that, Bub.
Yeah.
Wow. That's interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah,
I thought it was pretty close together, but I didn't know the show was first. Okay.
No, it was one of those studio decisions. They wanted to have a young girl and showcase her, and you remember, the outfits that lovely lady.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So they wanted to showcase her, and she was brought into the show first. She was created by that team, and then brought into comics.
Wow. Okay.
To follow suit.
Good to know. I did not know that. I wouldn't have gotten that trivia question right. Let's just put it that way.
Well, fortunately, you and I haven't found each other on too many trivia shows lately that you weren't controlling.
That's right.
So,
we will
so you're not likely to get that question.
Right. We will be finding ourselves on a comic show next Sunday, but we'll talk about that later.
Yes, we will. All right, it's great. Yeah, there you go. Yvonne Craig. I've got a signed Yvonne Craig print here somewhere.
Wow.
Those things are always hiding.
Is she still with us?
I do not believe so.
No? Okay.
I don't think so. Somebody can let me know.
Okay.
All right. That's 3 for me. What do you got there, Roger?
All right, let's pull another 3 out here. Here's one that you talked about, famous funnies, and Flash Gordon, but also, of course, we have Buck Rogers. And he first appeared, I believe that's
what I meant. Did I say Flash Gordon? I meant Buck Rogers. Gordon,
yeah.
Yeah, I got confused.
No, but Flash Gordon, I don't know if he appeared he did appear in comics. I don't know about Famous Funnies though. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't think he was in Funnies though.
Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't.
She has passed. It says. I thought she had. Yeah.
Oh, she has passed. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think he first appeared in. I think he first appeared in a radio serial, wasn't it, or was it a video serial? I don't remember now.
Buck Rogers.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've got a literal cereal, like from a cereal box from Kellogg's. That's,
well, I'm talking about SERIAL.
Okay.
Been serialized. Oh man, that's funny. But again, I do remember seeing, like, my brother had one of those 8mm roll, the projectors. You remember those that used to have those little round rolls? I don't know if you're too young to remember that.
Are you talking about?
Used to have
like the photo projectors?
Yeah, like
with the carousel,
kind of like but on a much smaller scale. And he had some of the Buck Rogers serials on there.
Oh wow!
Yeah, like I'm talking here. He probably got those in the 60s, but I remember seeing them in the 70s. And I back then it fascinated me because it had those cheesy effects and everything. But I've always been a sci-fi guy. I've always been like very interested in what the possibilities of what science can do for society, etc. And so that really fascinated me. So after that, I searched out a lot of his appearances and things like that. I used to have more of them, but I don't have too many anymore, unfortunately. But a big fan. My brother is even a bigger fan than I am, but I'm a big fan of Buck Rogers. And of course, look at this is not a really good cover for him, but he had those kind of that futuristic outfit, and how he was able to take on aliens and powers that were way beyond him, et cetera, et cetera. I really liked that show, serialized show, way back when.
Sly saying Jimmy also didn't start in comics either. Was on radio. and both Brett and Sly are agreeing that Buck was in comic strips first.
Strips. Yep. Okay. Thanks for that info. I wasn't sure. I really wasn't sure because those cereals were old, so it could have been.
Don't eat old cereal, Roger. It's bad for your teeth.
Oh yeah. Again, SSSER. Thanks for the info, guys. I appreciate it. I should have done a little more research there. All right. So
you had all day, Roger. There's really no excuse.
Well, I was working too, Bub.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and I had to take my wife. We volunteer at the clothing free giveaway every Monday. But anyway, so here I'm cheating again, Bub. This is twice now that I'm doing this. So
and with the same character.
Pray for me. No, different character. Different character. In here is the first appearance of Dominique Fortune. I know. Okay. You're like, who? Right?
Is it also his last appearance?
No, he did appear quite a few times in the Marvel comics. He had his own Marvel premiere. He appeared in Marvel Team Up several times, etc., etc. But hi Steve, how you doing? I love Disney and comics isn't here. But the reason it's cheating is that he had a previous iteration in the Atlas Seaboard comics as the Scorpion, and that was Howard Chaykin creation. And Atlas Seaboard was one of the first publishers that believed in creator rights. So if you created a character, it was yours. It wasn't the publisher's. Unlike Marvel's, you created under their umbrella, it was theirs.
I thought that Steranko invented the Scorpion.
No, this is another Scorpion. This is the Atlas Seaboard Scorpion.
Well, just how many Scorpions are running around the Marvel universe?
I don't know. I have no idea.
We're up to 3 at this point.
But so that's why it's cheating. But this is his first appearance of Dominique Fortune named as going forward into the comics. Okay. So again, a little bit of cheating, but I think technically I'm correct. Let's just put it that way.
I'm willing to let you slide on technicalities tonight.
Thank you, my friend. All those years we've been doing this together has paid off finally.
Yeah, but you're running low on credit.
Oh man! All right, this is the last one for this round for me. Because I got to get a drink of water after all this laughing and talking. Anyway, so you know what this one is, right, Bob?
That is the Deadly Hands of Kung Fu of December 1978.
Who first appears in here, Bub? Is my question.
I think that is Iron Fist.
No, it's first appearance
maybe
in a comic.
First appearance. It's the Kung Fu Master. What's that guy's name? Karate Kid.
Nope. Let's see.
E-Man.
Let's see when the chat will get it before Bub.
Fat Flying Saucer Boy or whatever that guy's name was.
Wrong publisher. Yep, Danger Sly got it. It is
the Human Fly
of White Tiger.
Hidden Dragon.
Well, Ranger Sly already got you. You're okay. You're out of there, Bub. He appeared
shucks.
Pretty much at the end when there was this team called Sons of the Tiger, and they each had like these little amulets that two were paws and one was a head of a tiger. And White Tiger, they sort of got beat up or whatever. So he took the tome, put it together, and now he has the powers of the tiger amulet, and he became the White Tiger, which was created by
that's
Joseph
Mengele. What?
George Perez.
George Perez, my favorite.
Anyway, so you're very unimpressive on this round, Bub. Very unimpressive.
I'm sorry. Well, it's just on this particular comic and the other 2 you showed. Other than that, I'm all over it. What are you talking about? I'm the king of the world.
Oh my God. So, Buck Rogers, you did fine with that one. So again, these are comic magazines. I mean, a lot of people don't really differentiate them. They're really comic books, but in black and white and without the comics code, essentially. But you put on their magazine, so
I did.
I'll use this as my
I
my
knew what I was
entry.
asking for.
Yeah. Yes, it was indeed George Perez. Yes, he's from Puerto Rico. I think he was born in New York, but his parents are from Puerto Rico. So Hector Ayala, White Tiger, was of Puerto Rican descent as well.
Oh, cool. All right, are you good?
Go, you go. I'm gonna get some more.
In honor of Steve being with us, hello, Steve. Will, how about this one? Walt Disney's Donald Duck. Now, I contend Donald Duck was first animated. What do you think?
Oh, I had to get some water.
All right.
Donald Duck. First appeared in, was that one of those, was it an animated feature?
I would assume so. I mean, we might need some help from the chat, but I would say it's definitely not in comics. So
Yeah,
maybe in a comic strip, but I would assume it's in an
I doubt
animated
it.
feature.
I think the Disney characters were almost almost all of them were first in the, because remember that Disney was a big into animation. That's why I did Steamboat Willie, and that was the Mickey Mouse and all that. So probably, I think Ranger Sly does say that it was animated first. So I believe him 100%.
Okay. All right, we're gonna go with that then. So there you go. I love Disney and comics. You're welcome. Don't say I never sent you nothing, because I done sent you this. How about
Weapon X add me to the giveaway wheel? There's no giveaway wheel here, Weapon X.
That's true. Oh yeah, appreciate that. What was doing it? No, we're not. That was a comic first guy. Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's true, because I know that his first appearance is very heavily sought after.
That's true. But
what about old Mr. Ed? Hello, Wilbur.
Oh, Wilbur.
Look at there, Mr. Ed. The talking whores, Mr. Ed. One of my favorite shows as a kid. Now, I did enjoy Wilbur's Wife on that show. That was definitely something I was awake enough for that.
Man, I just do not remember the women in these shows.
Oh my gosh, she was beautiful.
I mean, I remember Wonder Woman, but that was the lead character, you know.
Yes. Well, it's good that you remember Wonder Woman. We were concerned, about whether you would remember Wonder Woman at all.
I was taken aback by her, obviously, but I don't remember the lady. Honestly, I do not. Not even one inkling comes to memory of her.
Look at this. Donald's first theatrical appearance was in The Wise Little Hen in 1934. And for $10, tell us the name of the hen.
It was a nameless hen.
It was a nameless hen. Oh my gosh.
I don't know. I have no idea. No idea.
But Mr. Ed, them there talking horse, of course, famously first appeared in a magazine, actually, as a text story. So he is not an original creation for television. He was based on a short story with illustration, and that, of course, is available in the September 18th edition, 1937 of Liberty Magazine.
Wow!
Featuring the first appearance of Mr. Ed as a write-in story with pictures.
Wow, you did your research there, Bob. I'm impressed now.
Oh yeah. Well, I hunted this one down a long time ago. Every time I open it, it gets a little dicier. Wow. 1937 magazine. It's hanging on, but it's barely hanging on.
Wow, well, let me tell you, the fact that you have that you found that. Wow, that's impressive.
I love it. It's a good one. It doesn't fit in anything. Like it's such an odd size. It's taller than a regular magazine by an inch or by a quarter inch or so. I do the best I can, but it's rough.
It's taller than Marvel magazines.
Well, I mean, it could go in a treasury, I suppose.
Ooh. Yeah, that's big.
but then it's too wide. You know, Treasury would come out to like here. You know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true. Maybe you can modify it a little bit so that it'll fit all right.
Yeah, I need to do something for it.
Yeah,
But
a
yeah,
treasure, yeah.
that's a good one. I like that one. Let's see. We got that one. I love watching Mr. Ed on Nick at Night reruns. Yeah, that was good stuff. Thought Mr. Ed was a documentary. Most certainly was. And for a small fee, you could operate the carrots that helped him to open his mouth and talk. I think the Wise Little Hen was her name. Co-stars were Donald Duck and Peter Pig. Peter Pig.
Peter
I
Pig.
wonder if he couldn't have been any kin to Porky because they're on opposite teams, aren't they?
Warner Brothers, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So they need to do a remake of Mr. Ed with Kanye, I assume West, doing the voice of Mr. Ed. I bet that would be a great TV show for kids. I bet it would be. Call my agent. Later called Mrs. Crackle Corn. Mrs. Crackle's Corn in the comics. That's cute. Look, Ranger's just falling down a hole of Wikipedia. Somebody pull him out. Somebody send him a lifeline. Does that Liberty magazine go for much, or do most people not know what it is? I have never seen it listed where it was unknown what it was, but I always look for it. It's one of those things. I've only ever seen 2 of them for sale ever. And I picked the lower grade one because the higher grade, they wanted like 5 times the price. So yeah, I mean, they go like anything else. Condition, anything from the 30s. Like once someone sees 1937, people just assume it's gold, right? Like this is worth so much money. It says 1937. It's got a pretty girl on a bicycle. What more could you ask for, right?
Right.
So there you go. Yeah. So your mileage may, if you can find a copy and you find it for 2 digits as opposed to 3 or more, let me know, and I might be in the market for a second issue. So there you go. Help! Ranger slides out there. He's falling down the hole. He's in Wikipedia land.
Yeah.
All right. I've taken too much of your time. All right, Roger. What do you got? I know you're kung fu ready.
Yeah, I got a few more. I got more Marvel magazines here. Which is, I think a lot of people would be familiar with these, but I didn't pull out my Dells, and I don't know why I didn't, but I just didn't. Anyway, so here is Marvel Preview number 4. Yes, number 4 with the first appearance of the Star-Lord character. Of course, very different from the character that is in the Marvel movies. This one is a very stoic and serious, and obviously he has more inherent powers, etc.
Yeah.
But still, I enjoyed the character as it was first conceived, because again, he had, he was a bit of an enigma, and he ran into these untenable situations, of course. But those are the kinds of stuff things that I like. Those that sort of semi-science fiction, semi-heroic characters. I've always gravitated toward them, a la Buck Rogers.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it's not technically a comic. It is a comic magazine, black and white, no comics code. A little bit edgier, perhaps. There's nothing graphic or anything about these magazines, but definitely a different type of medium as far as the how they're focused is a little bit more adult, shall we say, than comics at the time.
Yeah, that's nice.
Oh, you like the original Star-Lord too, Ranger? Good. I'm glad I'm not alone there. All right.
You're never alone, Roger. You're amongst friends here in the comic community.
True enough. For many years, I was, me and my cousin and I were the only comic fans that we ever got to talk to. But now I've got hundreds, if not thousands, of friends out there. Although some
absolutely of them thousands indeed.
Right. Let me take off a few layers here so you can see this whole thing here.
Are you getting hot in there?
Am I getting hot?
Yeah, you're gonna take off a few layers. You said
the down here of the comic.
Oh, that's it. Oh, okay.
Let me see. Let me see how the glare is on this. Okay, so okay. not the first appearance of Satana. That's in Haunt of Horror, I believe, which I used to have those Haunt of Horrors, but I sold them. Sad story, but I had needed the money at the time. So, but this is the first Rocky Raccoon.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
It's I guess technically it's a little bit different than the Rocket Raccoon that later.
I think it's Vampirus.
She's a succubus.
No, in the first appearance of Satana. It's in Vampire Magazine.
Yeah. Oh, it's not. Oh, it's not in Haunted Horror. Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I think it's in Vampire Magazine. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, maybe Vampire Tales, yeah, something like that.
Yes, that's right. Vampire Tales. Yeah.
Okay, I used to have it because I used to have the whole run of Vampire Tales, Haunt of Horror, Tales of the Zombie, and Monsters Unleashed. I used to have all those, and I sold them all in one big lot.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I know. I know. Anyway, so yeah, here he appears. Again, it's a little bit different. I think they were sort of trying to figure out how they wanted the character to be, and this was sort of his tryout book in a sense. So later on, he became a little more like the Rocket Raccoon that's in the movies, but still not quite that, divisive, shall we say?
Yeah.
But still, it's a cool appearance because there's no indication on the cover at all that he's in there. Zero. You have to really dig through here to see him. He's not even in the whole. It's a shorter story in there too.
Is it like a little text story? Does he have images?
No. I'll show you. It's the real deal, but it's you know how these Marvel magazines, they have anthologies, right? So they have more like a frontline story, and then they'll have a secondary story and a tertiary story, etc. So let me show you where he appears in here, but it's not like the best appearance ever, like the Satana story is going to take up probably like 66% of the magazine, and then here he is here in this one. You see him there?
Oh yeah, for sure. Can't miss that ringtail.
Yeah, you see the cigar. You see the over here.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, but you see, it's. I think they were sort of trying to figure out who that character is, etc. But the actual main character, he's not the main character in the story. It's this guy here. Oh, what's his name, man? I should have. Oh man, it's a Sword in the Star. I forgot what the guy's name was, but anyway. So yeah, he appears as sort of a secondary, tertiary character in there.
Cool.
So you can say, yeah, it's not the greatest first appearance ever, but it's definitely Rocket Raccoon. Just not fully fleshed out, shall we say? That's probably the best way that I can describe it.
That makes sense.
Right. Craig69 says he's not here, but Kenneth Bird saying hi to everyone. How you doing, Kenneth?
They must not be riding together.
Yeah. Hey, Ranger Sly says Rocky Raccoon's name came from a Beatles song.
What he says, but he's still like on page 13 of the internet. We can't hardly trust anything Sly has to say from here on out.
I mean, I don't know how he can Google, when he's falling down that hole, but anyway. Okay, so this one here, this is one of those Roger specials, the Meta-Rog specials. And I like the obscure stuff. It is not first appearance of Dracula. It's not the first appearance of the Frankenstein monster, but it is the first appearance of the Manphibian.
Yes, yeah. Manphibian. Isn't that a bone in my body?
Maybe in your body. It's not in mine, no.
There's not a bone in your body?
No, I don't have a Manphibian. No, I do not have a Manphibian.
Well, I mean, women have a female phibia or woman phibia, and we got a manphibia.
Well, I'm not an anatomy expert, but I don't think such a thing exists in mine.
All right. Well, take it from me then.
Obviously, this is a kind of a ripoff of the creature from the Black Lagoon.
I will not stand for such talk.
Well, you may not stand, but look at how he's built there. I mean, he's certainly in that if not a direct ripoff, he's certainly in that same made in that same vein, you know.
I guess.
Aquatic, green, obviously doesn't have human-like characteristics in his features. So yeah, to me, that is a similar creature to that one of the Black Lagoon. But that is his first, and I think maybe he appeared but through at least through the 20th century, I don't think he appeared again. So, but that's a killer Neil Adams cover, though. I know you like that one too, Bub.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Man, that's really good. Having those three, that lightning strike, that all the eerie, trees and the swamp and everything. Really, really cool cover. Really cool magazine, actually, for a one shot as well.
I like it.
So that's
I need that one. That one still eludes me. I've got it on my want list, but I've not pulled the trigger. People want some crazy money for magazines when they're in decent condition.
Yeah. I'm glad I got all these back in the 80s because cheap old Metarog wouldn't be dishing out double figures for these.
Yeah, I hear you.
So that's what I got for tonight.
All right. Well, I'll take one final victory lap, and we'll go real easy here with Popeye. And I know a lot of people will remember the Popeye cartoons and the Popeye shorts that featured in movies, but actually he's a comic strip character from way back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And he was actually introduced secondary. He's a later introduction character to the olive family, or the oil family, actually. So olive oil is a member of the oil family.
Right.
And, it was castor oil, I think might have been her dad. And, they're all named oil. All different kinds of oil. So, and then they had introduced the Popeye character and he became very popular. And then, one thing led to another. And then all of a sudden you had the Popeye cartoons. Mm-hmm. So there you go. There's a very early successful spinoff.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot about the oils were first. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Nice.
So that's one of those things where when you're digging through old newspapers, like really old newspapers, you're like, maybe I'll see one of these. I'm always hopeful when I see old newspapers in like peddlers malls and flea markets and things. I always try and turn to the comic section and see if I see anybody I recognize.
Hey, that's good. That's a good technique, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
You never know what you could run into. I mean, people find amazing things all the time because they're just out there looking. If you're not looking, you'll never find it.
Yep. And of course,
I'm not teasing you with that TARDIS, Brett. I'm not teasing you with
it. He said you were.
No, I'm not teasing you with it. I mean, that was given to me by my daughter. So it's, I like to have it out there. So in case she watches my videos, she knows that I'm using something she gave me. She's
not watching, Roger.
No, she's not. She has no idea I do this anymore.
She thought it was a fad that ended a year or two ago.
Yeah. She was on with my 1,000 subscriber stream, right?
That was 2 years ago.
That was almost 2.5 years ago. Yeah.
Is it really?
2.5 years ago. That's right. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was when I was in Mississippi. The first year I was in Mississippi. Yeah.
Cool. And I'll finish off with the biggest. Actually, it's the second biggest Dick Tracy I have because I have a full-blown treasury. This is my second largest Dick Tracy. And definitely, a great comic strip character brought to life in comics and then, movies and serials and all kinds of great stuff.
Yeah.
So can't go wrong with old Chester Gould, Dick Tracy, of which I'm also trying to finish a run of Harvey.
The Harvey one. Yeah, I remember that. We found several at that comic book store over in Florida.
But I'm picking them up Roger style. I'm not. I barely want to pay double digits for an issue, and that's tough.
That is.
They're getting old, and everybody wants big money if they're even readable condition. So when I find them on the cheap, I scoop them up, and it's a fairly long run. So if I'm paying $10-$20 a piece, that's going to be expensive.
Right. So, well, if you can find them for 10, I mean, if they're decent, you should pick them up because they're never going to get cheaper than that.
Well, I stop at I found several cheaper than that, but I stop at the Golden Age. So I'm not picking up anything with a stamp. So it's all pre-code.
Pre-code. Okay.
So yeah, I'm going after the pre-code Harvey run of Dick Tracy. That's where I'm at.
Okay.
So now you can pick up the coded ones, the more Silver Age type ones, for cheaper than $10. But yeah, once you get to the Golden Age, it's 10 is pretty much the floor. I've picked up maybe 2 or 3 of them for less than that. And what I really like to do is to find a bundle of them that a dealer has, and then try and work a deal to where they average out to less than. And I start sounding like Bill when I say stuff like that, or Comic Mag Musings, who probably stopped watching 30 minutes ago. But when I always feel like him, and I was like, I wanted to get them for 75 cents a piece.
Right.
He wasn't having it, so we settled on 68 cents a piece. So a near 75-cent comic haul, but really 68 cents, but not a 50 cent. But here you go. It's the best I could do. I tried for 78 cents, and he just keeps going on. I'm like, all right, we get it.
Yeah. He gives you the hit by hit, play by play. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. And really, ultimately, he's just trying to remember something he purchased 8 months ago, because that's how far behind he is on his videos.
Oh, Bill, but he has found some really good deals on Craigslist and Offer Up and all that. Yeah. Of course, he lives in I think a pretty good area for that. Over in
yeah. Is he out of the homeless shelter now? Is he out of the shelter?
I think the wife is sheltering him at home now. Yeah.
Oh man, she's a good woman.
She's a great woman.
Yeah. Congratulations to her. I feel like I recall her maybe getting her master's this past week.
Yep, she got her master's. So, congratulations, Mrs. Musings.
Congratulations to Mrs. Mag's Musings, as clearly, since you started off with Bill and now you've got your master's, things are looking up.
Oh man.
So yeah.
Oh,
Good luck with that.
They went to the Grand Canyon. Bill did a unboxing of a Golden Age horror comic over there with mini musings. He loves to do on location things. Yeah,
fun stuff. I like seeing him on there with mini musings, because he has the same fear in his eyes whenever mini muses touches a book.
Yep,
like that I would have. Like you can see he's very.
Yeah, every once in a while, when he's like not sure, he'll strike like a cobra and snatch that thing right out of his
hand. He will.
It's like whoosh. I mean, literally lightning strike.
And at every look that he gives him, I recognize. Like I see one every now and then. You'll see a look where it's like, you wanted to do this, you asked to do this, and now you're not listening.
Right.
You wanted to help, and now you're not listening. It's funny. It's hilarious. But of course, he does a pretty good job. Bill's just a tough guy to please, I think.
Well, Bill. He's sometimes you wonder how much of this is an act. So
yeah, I don't wonder.
He gets the whole family involved. He gets the whole family involved in his video. So there must be something there that they like about the particular hobby.
Yeah, I agree, Roger. There's something there we can't see. They love Bill so much they put up with him, and I don't think I can take him for 5 hours. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, he's one of the people on my list that if I ever get an opportunity to meet him, I would like to. I would like to definitely, tell him, find out where he lives or whatever, and just be like, hey, Bill, meet me at this, IHOP or something. If you get there before me, get a table. And then once I have confirmation that he's left, I'm going to raid his comic room.
Right. the lair is now empty.
Yeah, he come back. And I'll show up with a trunk full of stuff. And I say, what happened? Let's get some pancakes. Yeah.
We tried Dave Noah, but he wouldn't bite.
No, I don't think. He's pretty savvy. All right. Well, that's what we got today. Yeah, so, Roger, thank you all for joining us. Roger, what do you have coming up on your channel? And I know some things, but what have you got coming up on your channel or any of the channels that are kind enough to offer you a free place on their airwaves?
Yeah, it does happen sometimes. I do get asked here and again, but Well, Thursday, I think I'm going to be doing another one of my giveaway links videos, the 1-minute shorts. So, that way, if I can find some giveaways and you're interested in supporting the community in that way, do check out my giveaway links videos. That, again, usually there's 7 or 8 at most links, so it's no big deal there. And then on Sunday, as Bub was alluding to, we're having the Horror Horde Showdown.
Easy for you to say.
I tell you, it's a mouthful. On my channel at 7:00 on Sunday, and we're having Bub is one of the contestants, along with Lady Fantastic, along with Rayman the Silencer Man, the aforementioned Comic Mag Musings, and Dope Comics is going to be joining us. Those 5 hardy souls are going to be competing against each other to see who can fit the comic best into the themes that I have described. There are 20 different themes. They already know what those themes are, but we don't know what they're pulling for those themes. So we're going to be going in a sort of round robin form. And
I promise you, I'll be pulling something.
Yeah, I'm
Don't
sure
you worry.
Plenty of things, knowing you. And then you in the chat will be able to vote to see who you think fits that theme the best. And there's going to be some little curveballs here and there. The chat will also possibly have a hand in choosing a category, one of the themes. I have to talk to Jackson Roykirk, but I think he'll be there helping out with the scoring.
Moderate for us? Is he going to kind of moderate it for us?
Yes, he's going to keep the score moderate. You know how I'm really terrible about that, so I need help.
It's hard to do both. It really is.
It is.
It's almost too much for one person to do sometimes.
No, I think I've learned from the past couple ones, so I'm going to be a little more organized and a little more tech savvy as to how I'm going to run the wheel and all that. So yeah. I've been practicing, Bub. I've been practicing.
Ooh, I'm excited about that.
So yeah, do join us. It's going to be, again, there's no prizes or anything, but the biggest prize.
There's no prizes.
The biggest prize is the pride that you will have as being the victor of the Horror Horde Showdown. And believe me, Rayman takes a lot of pride in his win last year on Christmas. So
yes,
be there. As well he should. Yeah, as well he should. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be twists and turns. There's going to be a lot of good comics and related publications shown. And I'm really looking forward to it.
All right. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. It's been a while since I met up with this fine group, probably since Christmas, right?
Yeah.
So I'm excited. That's big fun.
Yeah.
So and that's my big announcement too. I'll be on that. When is it? Friday, Saturday, Sunday? Is it Sunday?
Sunday at 7:00.
Sunday.
Right after the football games are over, come over, join us, and then before the night game, boom, we'll be out of there.
All right. So between the football games of the late game and the late game,
right?
Check us out. That'll be a lot of fun. Of course, the No Faces Comic Chat will return again Monday night. And I've been dropping hauls and things. I'll have another one Wednesday. It's already in the can, as they say, which is funny because that's where I do most of my editing as well. Ooh. So it should be
TMI.
So we'll be showing some of that off. So good stuff. It's always fun doing comic stuff and hanging out with you guys. And I need to do another kind of loose live stream here in a little while. I just realized I hadn't been putting out much recorded content, so I need to focus on that. That's a lot of people watch that. Not everyone gets to watch a live or will watch a replay of an hour show,
Yeah.
So trying to put out a few more 10-minute video kind of things to keep people around. So
well, you had
that's it.
You had the con stuff a few days ago.
Yeah. I've been pretty steady. I've put out probably 5 videos or so in the last week, so that's not too bad.
Yeah.
So we're keeping it going.
You did have a dry patch there for a while, but I think you're back in the saddle, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, work was. It's really my new job is very, very busy, and it takes a lot of mental work. So I've decided to kind of not be as good at it as I was originally going to be, so I can focus more on comics.
Yeah, of course. Got your priorities straight, man.
Yeah, I decided mediocre work was that it pays the same. as good work. That's what I found out, is that the good work and the mediocre work stays the same, only you get more comics because you can focus on that if you're doing mediocre work. So there you go.
Gotcha. Words to live by right there, yeah.
That's a win. All right. Well, what do you want to tell the fine folks at home there, Roger?
Great to have you guys here. Thanks for joining us. Everybody, be kind to each other, be blessed, and be back next Monday and Sunday.
Yes, and remember.
Oh, and also on Saturday, I'll be on Cover Slingers. I forgot to notice.
Oh, nice. I can't wait to be invited back on that show.
I'll see what I think I can pull some strings for it. We'll see.
Yeah, good luck with that. You pull too many strings and Gray Man's beard will unravel. So.
It has often on that show, too.
Yeah, it has. Every now and then I see a soup noodle hanging in there. I worry about him. All right. Well, we'll catch you next time. Remember to read a comic and don't apologize for the glare. Bye-bye.